In today's video, we break down the explosive response from the White House calling Amazon's decision to list tariff-related price hikes a hostile and political act. As economic pressure mounts and the 2024 campaign cycle intensifies, this moment reveals the growing tensions between corporate transparency and political spin. We dive into what this means for American consumers, why the Trump administration is lashing out, and how these fits into the broader pattern of political suppression, economic confusion, and creeping authoritarianism. For those who care about democracy, truth in governance, and holding power accountable, from MAGA resistance to everyday Americans demanding justice, this story matters. Join us for raw commentary, real public reaction, and a clear look at the stakes behind this so-called tariff war. USA Today has reported the following. The White House on Tuesday slammed Amazon's reported plans to list the costs of President Donald Trump's tariffs next to the total prices of products, signaling an emerging clash between the online retailer's founder, Jeff Bezos, and Trump. I just got off the phone with the president about the Amazon announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said at an April 29th briefing with reporters. The strong rebuke came after Punchbowl News, citing an unnamed source familiar with Amazon's plans, reported the shopping site will soon display the share of a product's cost that is derived from massive tariffs Trump rolled out this month. Let's take a look.
Hi, Mr. Secretary. So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect, crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon. And Secretary, if you have anything
Let's talk
Yeah,
about this new flare-up between the White House and Amazon and why it matters more than the headlines are letting on. So here's what happened. Amazon recently began listing which of its product prices were being affected by tariffs. Sounds straightforward, right? Transparency. Consumers get to see why their prices are going up. But according to the White House, this move is a hostile and political act. Let that sink in for a moment. A company informing consumers about rising costs, something that should be standard business practice, is now being framed as a political attack. The administration's reaction isn't just bizarre, it's revealing. It tells us they're far more concerned about optics than they are about truth or transparency. Because once people start seeing the direct link between tariffs and higher prices, they might start questioning the decisions being made in Washington. And that's the last thing this administration wants, scrutiny. But this goes beyond Amazon. This is about a growing hostility toward dissent, toward facts, and toward any institution or platform that dares to contradict the official narrative. Whether it's whistleblowers, journalists, or now even retailers, if you speak out, you're a problem. Let's continue with the article. Amazon did not respond to a request for comment seeking confirmation on the company's plans and a response to the White House. Why did Amazon do this now when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 4 years? Leavitt said, adding that it's not really a surprise because Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. Leavitt held up a printed copy of a 2021 story from Reuters that detailed how Amazon complied with a Chinese government edict preventing customers from raiding the government-published book by Chinese President Xi Jinping on Amazon's Chinese website. Seems like the White House are taking off the gloves on this one. I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, Leavitt said when a reporter asked whether Bezos remains a Trump supporter. Amazon and other retailers fiercely opposed Trump's universal tariffs that the president imposed at the beginning of April. The tariff rate on China, a major U.S. trade partner, is currently 145%, a significant toll that economists warn will be passed on to consumers. Appearing alongside Leavitt at the White House on April 29th, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said 18 countries have put forward trade proposals to the U.S. as the administration negotiates deals that could include lowering the tariffs. He said Trump's economic team will continue to meet with leaders of these countries in the coming weeks. Bessent cited progress with India, South Korea, and Japan toward potential deals. Notice, he did not say China. Let's be real. This reeks of authoritarian energy. The idea that a corporation communicating with the public about price hikes is somehow a political move is the kind of thinking we see in regimes, not democracies. And if you think this is just about Amazon, think again. This is a test case. If the government can pressure a company into silence over something as basic as pricing, what's next? We're watching a pattern here. The administration claims to defend democracy, but the actions are telling a different story. From media control to economic gaslighting, it's clear there's a widening gap between the people and the policies being pushed in their name. And MAGA isn't the only threat. The quieter, systemic erosion of truth and accountability happening under centrist leadership is just as dangerous, because it hides behind the language of moderation. And here's the kicker. While they try to suppress this kind of info, everyday Americans are the ones paying the price. Literally. We're dealing with inflation, job insecurity, and rising costs across the board. Tariffs make that worse. Amazon telling us why things cost more is not the problem. The problem is the policies causing it, and the leaders who don't want us to ask questions. So, when you see stories like this, don't just read the headline, read the playbook. Because this isn't just about trade, it's about truth. And if we don't keep speaking up, they'll keep rewriting the narrative while the rest of us foot the bill. Before I go, I would like to mention that USA Today just came out with a follow-up to this story stating that Amazon has denied these allegations and they were just considering it for a certain part of their business. I want to say this takes nothing away from this story because it still shows the White House is not communicating with the people closest to them before doing these presses. Caroline came out ready with the printout she had accusing Bezos and basically calling him an enemy, a double agent, someone who is not for America. Just imagine how that relationship will stand the test of time. Free speech is not so free under the Trump administration. So the next time someone tells you that the system is working just fine, remember this. Even price tags are now considered political. That's how fragile the truth has become under an administration more concerned with controlling the narrative than fixing the root problems. We can't afford to stay silent while democracy is chipped away in broad daylight. If this kind of breakdown analysis matters to you, if you care about truth, justice, and pushing back against both MAGA extremism and establishment hypocrisy, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you never miss a real update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Amazon was out of line, or is this just the government trying to silence transparency? This is people-centered political news, built by and for those who are paying attention. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.